Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we got another interesting episode for you guys, so you guys definitely want to stick around and listen to some of the things we got to say today. But before we do that, make sure you go ahead and click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So we all know that basketball, just like many sports, is a very, very competitive sport, right? We all know this, right? And I think to make it at the top, to be one of the best players in the world, you have to have an extreme level of competitive drive within you to continue to want to get better and literally best your opponents every time you go out there. And I think that there are very few players out there that are as competitive as Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook plays with an intensity that is rare, right? He plays with this kind of rage. In some cases, it looks like he's playing with reckless abandon. But Russell Westbrook plays very, very, very hard, and it's something that's really helped him in his career. We all know that Russell Westbrook is a triple-double king. Just last season, he averaged another triple-double, and it's something that Oscar Robertson did when he played. And when Russell Westbrook did it, before he did it, most of us thought that it was something that was just quite impossible. And given the fact that Russell Westbrook not only was able to do it once, but he's done it multiple times, just shows you just how great of a player he is. And I think it's something in him, not only the fact that he's averaged triple doubles, but given the fact that he plays with so much intensity and he gives you every single thing that he has in him, pretty much every single possession, at least on the offensive side of the floor. I think it's something that a lot of his peers respect and admire about the guy. I think it's something that that they respect, because this guy doesn't seem to be somebody that takes plays off. Every single night he plays very, very, very hard. However, I believe that there is a downside to playing with rage and intensity, because it can cause you to become a little bit overzealous. If you look at Russell Westbrook, I believe it was yesterday on Undisputed, I was watching an episode and they were going back and forth discussing the story. And I think Skip Bayless made a point about Russell Westbrook leading the NBA in turnovers. Now, obviously, he was trying to make a point, trying to basically diminish the whole Russell Westbrook acquisition by the Lakers, obviously that. But there's truth to that. When you play with a lot of rage, a lot of force, you can have a lot of errors, right, on the court, and it can lead to mistakes. And sometimes I've actually seen Russell Westbrook's emotions on the basketball court get the best of him, to the point where he's even taken himself out of playoff games because he wasn't able to kind of dial it back a little bit. You don't need to go too far and go back to, I think it was the 2019 season, if I'm not mistaken, when he was playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then he had Paul George, and I think Carmelo Anthony was on that team. And they were in the playoffs. I think it was in the first round against the Utah Jazz, when they had Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, and all of these different guys. And for whatever reason, these two teams had it out for each other, right? It was a very, 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 very chippy series. And I think at one point, Ricky Rubio in one game outplayed Russell Westbrook. And I think the next game, Russell Westbrook came out to prove a point that somehow he could slow down Ricky Rubio or guard him or intimidate him. And before you knew it, Russell Westbrook, I think, picked up technical fouls and fouled himself out of the game, or got himself thrown out of a playoff game. And you're all sitting here wondering, how the heck can a player of this magnitude allow himself to get thrown out of a playoff game? And I think here we have another example where Russell Westbrook, I think his emotions are getting the best of him, and he had some things to say about the Clippers that I want to get into, and I have a larger point that I want to get to here. So let me just read a little bit of some of the things that they said here. So they said, in a recent article, I'm getting this from SI.com, in a recent article from Matt Weyrich of NBC Sports, it was reported that while Westbrook never demanded a trade from Washington, he always was intrigued with the possibility of joining the Lakers. In an interview with NBC Sports Washington's Chris Miller, Washington Wizards GM Tommy Shepard said, Russell actually never asked to be moved. He just said, if I can get to the Lakers, that'll be something I would love to do. If not, I'll be back here. I said, what about the Clippers? He said, hell no. There are a few problems here. Okay? There are a few problems, and really two problems here. First problem is this. Russell Westbrook is talking about he said hell no to the Clippers, when the fact of the matter is this, and Skip Bayless said it, and it was true, and we reported on this videos on this news as well a number of weeks ago. Ramona Shelburne of ESPN broke the story. we covered this story where Russell Westbrook, I think this was when Kawhi Leonard was trying to figure out where he wanted to go. And I think Russell Westbrook reached out to Kawhi Leonard and essentially asked him, hey, let's team up in LA, whether with the Clippers or the Lakers. Basically what Kawhi Leonard did was he ignored the olive branch that Russell Westbrook extended to him. Just ignored him. Instead, he went after his teammate, Paul George, to go play with him. So Kawhi Leonard already rejected Russell Westbrook by just simply ignoring his calls or texts or whatever it is. That's the first part. So when Russell Westbrook is saying, I said hell no to the Clippers already said hell no to him before. In this case, we're talking about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard did not want to play with Russell Westbrook for good reason, right? And I had my reservations about Westbrook even joining the Lakers in the first place because, yes, he brings you a lot, but he also can hurt your team in a variety of ways, given the fact that he's not a great shooter, not a good free throw shooter, and sometimes makes terrible decisions with the basketball. Nevertheless, he's there with the Lakers. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Kawhi Leonard ain't that dude to play with, man. He's not that dude to play. Let me ask you guys a question. When was the last time you ever watched a basketball game that you saw an opponent talking trash to Kawhi? When do you guys ever see that? Sometimes even me, as a Kawhi Leonard fan, I ask myself, why don't guys talk trash to Kawhi Leonard? I think there are a few reasons why people don't talk trash to Kawhi Leonard. There's a reason that they call this guy the cyborg. There is a legitimate reason. Kawhi Leonard is not the player you trash talk. Why? Because he has too much game. First of all, the guy is a winner, and he wins at a high level. His career record shows that. We did a video on Doc Rivers' coaching record. I think he has a 52% winning percentage over his career, and I think in the playoffs, it's similar, right? Kawhi Leonard wins a lot of games. He's won a lot of series. He's a champion, multiple-time champion. So a lot of people on the basketball court have respect for the guy that he's a winner. Number two, Kawhi Leonard doesn't talk trash. But if that's the guy you want to trash talk, and try to talk like as if you're going to do something, you better be careful because let me just say this. If Russell Westbrook feels as if that the Clippers and the Lakers somehow may meet down the road, maybe in a regular season game or in a playoff game, and if he thinks that, I'm going to trash talk Kawhi Leonard, that is a huge mistake. He's not the dude you want to trash talk to because the fact of the matter is this, Kawhi Leonard is much better than Russell Westbrook. And if you want to trash talk Kawhi, LeBron can't save you when he comes for you. LeBron cannot save you. I realize Russell Westbrook is a very confident guy, but there's a thing that we say, growing up in New York, people say this like, you see dudes get tough when they get around tough dudes. Right? Not to say that Russell Westbrook is not tough, but a lot of dudes puff up their chest when they're around tough dudes. They feel like as if they got to be tough. They got to talk tough. And in this case, yes, you're on the Lakers. You're with Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, all of these different guys, right? And maybe he's like, I'm with the Lakers and all of this. That's cool. You feeling yourself is great. But that don't mean that all of a sudden you can start trash talking to Kawhi Leonard. He's not the dude. Right? And if you try to trash talk to him and he starts coming for you guys if they meet you guys in a series, LeBron cannot save you from Kawhi. He cannot save you. And the fact of the matter is, Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook are not on the same level. Kawhi Leonard is just on a different level, period, end of story. And I just think it's quite dumb to be trash talking Kawhi Leonard. I remember the time when LeBron James first joined the Miami Heat, and they were playing the Lakers on a Christmas Day game. And the Miami Heat were blowing out the Lakers. And I think Kobe Bryant went up for a layup or whatever it was. LeBron James blocked the shot or he fell down or whatever. And LeBron stood over Kobe and he was like, yeah. I'm sure some of you guys saw this clip. And Kobe Bryant looked up at him and he was like pissed and he stood up. And as they were going back down the court, they were jawing at each other. And I remember when they show Kobe's face, his face or whatever it is, mouth and words, he basically said, I'm a bleeping champion. Like, basically, watch your mouth. At that time, LeBron had not won any championships. But Kobe's like, what are we doing here? So everybody on the court can talk trash. Even though LeBron James at the time was a hell of a player, he wasn't a champion. Last time I checked, Russell Westbrook isn't a champion. So if you feel like as if you want to go after Kawhi Leonard, maybe if you want to go after Paul George, no problem. Kawhi Leonard is not that dude. He's not. They're not on the same level. I'm sorry. Kawhi Leonard is a winner. He's at a high level. And if that's the guy you want to go after, be careful, right? Because you don't have the jewelry or the resume to go after Kawhi Leonard. You have a great regular season resume. But last time I checked, champions are made in the playoffs, not in the regular season. So if that's the dude you want to go after, be careful because you don't have enough jewelry and you don't have enough smoke for Kawhi Leonard. These are just my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about Russell Westbrook's comments and what do you think about my comments? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, Be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamers Pro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.